Hi guys, good morning. I hope you're having fun with Management 3.0. I'm going to share today my experience on the competency matrix. My experience starts from the fact that I got a management approval. So I had to present the management of how important it is for the team to know where they are with their competencies, right? That was the first step. Now, after that, I had about 8 sessions of competency matrix. How I do it is I call a scrum team. So I do it scrum team by scrum team. I call one scrum team into a room where I do a setup of, let's say, on the left hand side, you have all the competencies, and then on the right side, you have all the people, right? So each column is a person, and each row is a competency. Now, I add a fun element where I say that I won't write the name of the people. So I give them a 4x4, 3M post-it, and I say, draw yourself. Now that's fun. Some people are really good at drawing. So I had some fun faces. I had some really good drawing faces, right? So I remember these two girls who drew very well. There was one guy who drew very well. So it's good fun for people to represent themselves on a piece of paper, right? So that's what represents you on that board, right? So that's one column per person. Now the team sits together. I tell them there are four kind of competencies, right? You have your soft skills, you have your technical competencies, you have your domain based, and then you have your processes, right? So they as a team come forward and figure out the competencies. It's not something which we give them, right? Because you as a team need to realize. Now there's a little tweak I do. um, my managers had this concern that what if they forget a competency which is really required. So let's say if I'm a Java developer, I thought of everything apart from Java, right? That should not happen. So for that, what I do is, after the team is done with competencies figuring out, right, we have a list which we have done. I call the manager for 2 minutes. I just tell him to check on the competencies just for 2 minutes. He's not there in the entire session. He's just there for 2 minutes where he checks, okay, everything which I need is there, the base or the core competencies are not missed, and then he walks off the room, right? Again, after that, I add a fun element. I say roll a dice. There's a special big, it's kind of a glass dice, which I make them roll. There are two dices. So they roll, and if they get a 6, you get to go on the board, right? The board is made in a way where left hand side again rows all our competencies, right? On the columns your name. I give them flags. They're these 3M flags, right? And I get the colored flags. So I get red flag for apprentice, yellow for journeyman, and then green for master. I actually do another flag of blue color. That blue flag is where do I want to grow, right? Sometimes the competence is not only where you are, it's also about where you want to grow as an individual. I limit them to 2 to 4 on the blue. The reason being, it should not be that, okay, I'm a journeyman on everything and I want to grow on everything. No, that's the wrong message then, right? I want to figure out as an individual 2 or 4 areas where I really want to grow. I've seen some people who do 4. I've seen some people who really do 1 or 2. And I like actually people who do 1 or 2, because it's like telling your manager that, see, I want to grow only on these two. The good part is the manager realizes that he's also getting a goal indirectly from this exercise, because he now knows what the person is interested in. So for the motivation, he can really grow that person on that thing, either by giving a training or getting people to help him, right? So turn by turn, people come, they put those flags, telling which level they are, right? And then also where they want to grow. The last piece is where I tell them that if you want to leave the room, call me. I'll verify if all is good, and then you can leave. Right? There's another part to it. So once the final person is doing, I tell the team this also, that see, there is one thing of saying that this is our competency, but then there is another thing where you should realize as a team member, next time if you get a issue or a problem in one of the competencies, who to go to. So let's say I know that probably one of my team members, Sunny, he's good at Kubernetes, right? It's not used in the project. It might be one day used, but then he's great at it. He never told anyone, right? So he was working probably in the weekend and getting that knowledge. So now in that board, when I see that Sunny is a journeyman, oh, that's a big thing. I didn't even know. So you as a team member should see the board, self-reflect on who to go to next time when you have a problem. And trust me, that's been a very big success with my competency matrix, where people say, oh, now we know who's the SME, who's the person to go to, right? And that actually helps you a lot. And then when you're voting as a team, guys. Traditional skill metrics, managers used to do it, was not very good because manager used to assess. Here, when you're voting, your team is looking. So I've had cases where people said, "Oh, you're listing yourself as a master. Come on, you didn't even know that." And the person self-reflects, "Yeah, probably my team is right. Oh, I'm not a master. I'm probably a journeyman." Right? So that self-reflection actually brings the team perspective, right? It's not only what I feel, but it's also what the team feels. So you as a team make a competency matrix. Again, guys, I'm sure many people will say this, that you need a safe environment. So you need an environment where you can feel very comfortable with your colleagues, with your teammates, right? So that Scrum team, whenever I got them into a very comfortable groove, saying that, guys, you are safe. This is not to judge you. This is not going to your appraisal. Yeah, that's one question which I get. Is this going to affect my appraisal? No, guys, that's not going to affect my appraisal. That's my answer to them. And then I tell them this is only for self-reflection of where you are, and then the most important thing, where you want to go. And then, yes, we will share this with the management, saying, where do you really want to grow, right? I had 8 sessions, all went pretty well. The gamification, people were pretty interested, and I felt this is a great way to know the competencies of the team. Really looking forward. If you guys have any other ideas, feel free to suggest. Thanks, guys. That's all from my side.